Darrell, are you there?
Yes, I am, Tom.
Okay, we are ready for you, I think.
Okay. Tom decided that he wanted to challenge me because he said he wanted me to say something nice about Ruth Capp. And for those of you who know me, for me to say something nice,
About
well, that might not be exactly what I normally do. However, with Ruth, it definitely is easy to do that. Now, because she was an amazing person. I did not know her until she joined Phonic Fairy Toastmasters Club. That was in the mid 90s. And she, by that time, had been a widow for quite a few years. She worked at the Riverside County Assessor's Office. I also worked at the Riverside County Assessor's Office, but we were in different departments. Therefore, our paths never crossed while we were at work. However, when she joined Phonic Fury, she came in with both feet. She quickly volunteered to fulfill any job that was given to her. And she also wanted to become an officer and filled all the different officer roles. But she wasn't satisfied with just being in one club. She joined more clubs and became an area governor, division governor, then became a district officer, lieutenant governor of marketing, lieutenant governor of education and training, and district governor. When she was the district governor, she led the district to being distinguished. This was an achievement that had not been happening for the prior 2 years. One of those years was my year when we were not distinguished. But when Ruth was the district governor, when we were both district officers, there was a quartet of us. There was Ruth, Becky Palmer, my wife Marianne, and myself, who really worked the Toastmasters program together, and we played together, including going on cruises, especially to Hawaii, where we had some very interesting stories that I don't think I need to share with you at this point in time. However, Ruth was not satisfied with just leading the district. She also went and started working with two different MFI, My Family Incorporated clubs, which are recovery centers for substance abuse people. She continued working with these groups, one men's group and one women's group, for over 15 years. And in doing that and her Toastmasters activities, she has touched in a very positive manner thousands of people's lives. And I know she was very interested in that because she would frequently bring out a letter that she had received from one of the men or one of the women saying how much her efforts had helped them get their lives back together. Now, Ruth kept active in her Toastmasters activities until December of last year when she got sick. And I when her family had contacted us and we knew that she was gone, they asked that we did not go ahead and put anything on social media because they did not want to have the social media impact. So please do not post anything on social media about her. But I have received many comments from fellow club members, fellow Toastmasters, and others who literally knew her. And the comments are, she may be gone from this earth, but her legacy will live on in the hearts and minds of the many that she did touch. Now, I gave this tribute to her family because when she passed away, we had COVID-19 and nobody could go to the funeral. It was a very private affair. Fact is, nobody could visit her for the last month or so of her life. So it was had to be calling her or sending an email to one of her sons who would pass it on to her because she could not even receive paper in her room. But I did receive from another past district governor from District 5 a little bit of a tribute when I asked for information that could be done. So Cheryl Roush, accredited speaker, distinguished Toastmaster, an absolutely marvelous person, went and wrote this tribute to Ruth, and I will read it to you. This tribute is to a woman who inspired all who knew or just met her. She was a force. Anything she asked of you, you could only say yes and figure out the details later on. I was honored to be asked into the prison and recovery center to speak with the women and present them with copies of the heart books. It may have been memorable for them, but it was a life changer for me to see the results and the depths of Ruth's heart-centered work. Truly amazing. She embraced every person without prejudice or judgment, and with such genuine kindness. When it comes to heart, Ruth was easily 10 times larger than the size of her physical frame. When it comes to faith, Ruth's ability to believe in the goodness of others, that they could do the impossible. So they did. When it comes to hope, Ruth was rock solid, ever focused on the positive outcomes, regardless of the odds. When it comes to love, Ruth's capacity for compassion, practice, and patience and service were demonstrated through her deeds. And she never did it for fame or praise or recognition. She humbly did it for the sake of humanity, for the women, for their families, for the futures. My heart weeps that her time with us has ended. I can hear her saying, in my head, saying, I am not done yet. Which reminds us, her work needs to continue to be championed with the women in recovery. Her service there was her greatest joy and pride, seeing the women rise above their odds. May her legacy of faith, hope, and love prevail in her memory and in her honor. And this was submitted by Cheryl Roush, one of her many loving fans. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can only say Ruth, truthfully, was an amazing woman who literally put others ahead of herself, and she literally was living for her work with the recovery centers. As her son Mark said to me about a month before she passed on, Ruth lived for Toastmasters, for the group. That kept her mind going. It was just the fact that her body gave out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we should all say, thank you, Ruth. You were a marvelous lady, Mr. Toastmaster.